guys, welcome back. In this video we're looking at Tenerife Sea by Ed Sheeran. So let's go ahead and cover setting up the guitar. String 3 we're going to tune down to E. Of course that's not E right there, I have the capo on, but tune your open string 3 down to E, and then to match the recording we'll put capo on 4 on the 4th fret. Of course you can adjust that accordingly for your vocal range or somebody else who may be singing it with you. So just a quick note on tuning that string down to E. If you think about playing just a standard E minor chord, it basically turns your E minor chord into an E5 power chord. A real big, nice consonant sound. So let's take a look at the chords that we're going to be playing throughout the tune. We can just think of these all as power chords really, and then we have these strings 2 and 3 just kind of like a pedal, this constant sound, over every single one of these chords. So it creates some different chords when you put it all together, but we'll just think about the chord shapes that we're moving on the lower set of strings just as power chords because it makes it easy to think about it that way. And then we're always striking the same strings in the upper register there. So we're going to think like E5 here. Open 6 string, string 5 fret 2 with finger 1, and string 4 fret 2 with finger 2. And then we have an F sharp 5 chord. Of course this is thinking like it's an open position, not taking the capo into account. F sharp 5, this is string 6 fret 2 with finger 1, string 5 fret 4 with finger 3, and string 4 fret 4 with finger 4. And then we have an A5 chord, just open 5th string and string 4 fret 2 with finger 1 there. And we just got 2 more. This is going to be a C sharp 5 chord, finger 1 on string 5 fret 4 and finger 3 on string 4 fret 6. And then we scoop down 2 frets to B5, finger 1 on string 5 fret 2 and finger 3 on string 4 fret 4, B5. So E5, F sharp 5, A5, C sharp 5, and B5. So we'll go through each section and then we'll talk about the technique. The technique is something that you'll have to, in the right hand that is, you'll have to certainly separate out and get comfortable with. I'm doing a little bit different than what he's doing, but I think it works pretty well, and I'll explain why later. So for the verse section, you're going to play E5, F sharp 5, and A5 twice as long, and E5, F sharp 5, and A5, and E5, F sharp 5, sorry, A5, and then C sharp 5, B5, and A5. One more time, E, F sharp, A, and E, F sharp, A. One more time, E5, F sharp 5, A5, and then C sharp 5, B5, A5. Now let's go ahead and cover the chorus because it's very similar to that, actually easier. It's just going to be E5, F sharp 5, A5. And you just loop that. That's it. And I believe it's 4 times, 3 or 4 times, I can't remember from the recording. So those two are very similar. And then we have the pre-chorus section, which is going to be A5, E5, B5, and A5 again, and E5, B5, and A5. Now E5 twice as long, and B5 twice as long. Actually, 4 times as long. Do that one time. A, part that pre-chorus leads into the chorus. And the last section is the bridge. C sharp 5, A5, B5, E5, C sharp 5, A5, E5, oops, sorry, B5. One more time, C sharp 5, A5, B5, and E5, and C sharp 5, and A5, and B5. So the second time through is basically the same thing, but you just don't go to E5, you stay on B5. And I played at the beginning, I played each one of these sections back to back. I played once through the verse, the full verse, then I played once through the pre-chorus, then once through the chorus, and then once through the bridge. So you can kind of go back and review that, slow it down, and then come back and listen. You'll see that those will match. But all right, so that's the order of the chords for each section. Now let's talk about this right hand technique. So what he is doing, if you can find a video that shows him playing it, you'll see he's got his index finger on string 3 and his middle finger on string 2, and he's kind of posting his finger up. That's what a lot of people will do for fingerstyle. I don't know if some people do it, some people don't, some people swear by it. I don't do that. I think it just holds too much tension in the hand. It restricts movement. So if you do that, it'll make you lean in a different direction where you might feel more comfortable using your index finger on string 3 and your middle finger on string 2. What I do is just use my index finger as I just kind of brush through the chord with my thumb. So let me demonstrate that from the side here. So if I do with a E5 chord here, I'm brushing through the lower strings and then hitting whatever string I'm aiming for with my index, either 3 or 2. So I'm not thinking about a specific bass note necessarily with the thumb. I'm not doing like an alternating bass. I think what he's doing is getting a little bit more of that harmony in there, so it's just this constant flood of sound, and then we have these notes on top of every chord. So I think what's most important with that technique is that each finger is preparing after the previous finger has played, and I'm only talking about using your thumb and index finger here. So what I mean by that is as you strum through the chord, let that pass your finger, your index finger, to the 3rd string, play the index finger and prepare your thumb to strum again, and just kind of hit the bass notes, grab your E and strum through a couple strings. If you only get the bass notes, it's okay. We're thinking a little bit non-specific, so we can just kind of get more sound in there. And then, of course, when we strum through it again, and then we prepare our index finger on the 2nd string. So let me get a little bit closer here and kind of see what I mean. Turn this way. I'm going to do it with open strings. Kind of a mechanical motion there. So kind of think of a little kind of brush stroke here with the thumb. Really independent movement there, just kind of catching the strings. I have nails, but if you don't have nails, just side of the flesh there, just kind of nice little easy motion. try and get that thumb to relax as much as possible. And then you should start to feel kind of a mechanism, if you will, where it kind of starts to work like a machine, and you're kind of, and that could be a good exercise to do until you get used to brushing through the strings. And you could even do it outside of the pattern of the song, just alternating bass note, and try and add the pattern. So let's talk about that. The pattern is what I was just playing there. Depending on what string set you're on. So for the E5 chord, I'm strumming through strings 6, 5, and 4, and then my index is bouncing back and forth between string 3 and string 2. Oops, sorry. And then for the F sharp 5 chord, exact same thing. I just change my left hand to grab the F sharp 5 chord. Alright, and then for the A5, I'm only playing through strings 5 and 4 here. Same strings with the index finger. And this little trill thing is not that big of a deal. I'm just doing that with my middle finger. Pluck that second string open, hammer on, pull off. And just, sometimes he does it slow, sometimes he does it fast. I was playing it fast at the beginning. So let me play through the, it would basically be the chorus section, just so you can hear that trill with it. It's going to be string 5, 3, 5 at the end there. So okay. And we'll take that pattern through each of these sections real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So that was the chorus. It's just that one progression repeated. And then the verse we said is the exact same thing 3 times. You do that 3 times, and then C sharp, B, and A. And then the pre-chorus, A, E, B, A, E, B, A, E, E, B. I'm just going to hang on there, and I'll point this out. So, there are times where you can play less, let a chord ring out. I was playing the pattern all the way through for the most part when I was playing at the beginning. Be a musician and make those decisions, decide what you think sounds good. But these are just the components to put together. And then the bridge, C sharp, A, B, E, C sharp, A, B, and we're just going to hang out here on the B. And that's where he goes, so in love, and it goes back into. So on and so forth. If you have any questions about that, guys, please leave a message, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Just try and feel connectivity and fluidity in that right hand. If you're real tight, that's never going to really work with fingerstyle that well. It'll be a very harsh sound, or you'll just get real tired as you're trying to do whatever technique it is you're trying to do. It has to be relaxed, independent movements. So play around with whether you want to use your middle finger. You may like that better. I don't. That's just, you know, based on the technique that my hand feels comfortable with. I don't like posting up on the guitar and anchoring. So that doesn't mean I don't use my middle finger or ring finger. I use it for plenty of other situations. But for something like this, I think it works pretty well. Just the thumb and the index. So have fun with that. Go back and review however much you need to review to get those chunks together. But I would say the main thing to focus on is your right hand technique. Then you can apply it to the chords. It's pretty easy after that. And then add that little trill in at the end. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's just an ornament. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time.